Welcome to Ministry Media Masterclasses, which is a masterclass on ministry media positioned as a learning opportunity for pastors and ministries where we can impact the world through you. We are live from the Ministry Media Mastery Studios, where our passion is your message to the world. Let's go. I'm a media coach for pastors and ministries, helping them to get their message to its intended for, build the media channels for that message to get there, and building a community around it and serve them. I'm passionate about transforming the world through equipping and empowering inspired individuals to create ethical, positive, and true media that edifies and builds up society, raises up and establishes godly voices, and brings restoration to the world. I do this through one on one coaching, providing a media coaching platform, facilitating media challenges, and hosting ministry media retreats, and also masterclasses like this. Free masterclasses that you can join on a weekly basis. My name is Simon Fune, and this is my masterclass. Today, I'm going to look at masterfully handling negative feedback on your ministry media channels. If you like what you hear today, you want to launch or improve your ministry media platform, learn the latest content creation techniques, build a media team, and increase the impact of your ministry, register for our Ministry Media Challenge. This is a carefully crafted challenge will provide you with a system, process, and most of all, accountability structures to get your ministry media platform launched in as little as 12 weeks. This is a premium challenge where we'll take you from where you are to global influence and impact. Please let me know in the comments below, what is your expectation of the class today? Very excited to presenting this, and welcome to Pastor Jonathan Banda from Zambia. Pastor Jonathan, how many pastors are with you today? I really appreciate you and your engagement. Thank you so much. So we're going to talk about negative feedback in any form, various forms on your ministry media channels. We're going to unpack it, and we're going to give you practical examples and a system on how you can approach this and get the best out of the experience. Now, it's very important, obviously, that you have a media ministry so that you can get the message to who it is intended for and global impact, as I've said before. Now, the focus of this lesson is that to get you to effectively manage negative feedback on your media channels, to keep your integrity and your credibility intact, because that is very important. We've often seen where media ministries, media platforms go off the rail because they get persecution and negative feedback, and they handle it in the wrong way, losing their credibility and essentially their influence as well. So, negative feedback, what are we talking about here? We're talking about anything where people are communicating with you any kind of negativity, distaste, opposite viewpoints, persecution, etc. And it comes through comments on your posts, private messages, which is still okay to handle because it's not public, and then reviews, for instance, on your churches or your ministry products, etc. Now, it's very important that you understand that there is the potential of potential impact of negative feedback on your ministry can damage your ministry's reputation. How you handle yourself and how you respond to negative feedback is of utmost importance. The probability that in the lifespan of your ministry, and we obviously trust that it will go on in perpetuity, because establishing it and servicing it, that is the launch of your ministry. The longevity of it is going to be on how much work you do in reflection and introspection, getting everything out of you, packaging in communication formats that people can take. But the perpetuity and the longevity of your platform is going to depend on, are you able to get the vision communicated and handed over to other people that they are buying into it and carrying your mission forward. So during all of that time, my point was that the probability that you're going to get negative feedback and even be persecuted is very, very high. Okay, so this class is very important and obviously spirit led because you're going to deal with this at some point. Now, I want to share with you quickly statistics and examples of how negative feedback spread quickly on your media channels. Here's some statistics. A single negative social media post can reach up to 100,000 people within the hour. Now, we want our content as ministries to go viral. We want to do that, but we don't want to do it in the wrong way, right? And so often what happens is, let me explain to you. Often what happens is we teach that you need to be patient. Galatians 4 verse 9 says we need to be patient because the harvest is coming if we don't stop, right? And so we got to have that patience and keep on producing and communicating because over time it's going to reach pinnacle and it's going to start getting momentum. I have this quote that says, patience is the power that makes momentum become critical mass. And when you've reached critical mass, that is when nobody would be able to stop it. But you can get virality on your content very quickly, especially through negative feedback and a negative response to something that you said. There are ministries, media ministries, that are built on this. They are purposefully criticizing other ministries or discerning the world or creating content that criticizes other ministries, messages, doctrines, etc. And they get good response. And I want to caution you and say, you don't want your ministry to be known for that. You don't want, that is not effective ministry, right? Breaking other people down. We need to break down the darkness, right? If we look at in Jeremiah, it says, listen, we got to destroy, we got to break down, but that we do with the darkness, the negativity. We shouldn't be attacking each other. And some ministries exist. That's what they do. They feed on that, right? And so what happens is people come, they respond because they either agree or they are defending the ministry that they are bad-mouthing. And I don't think that's the best way that we can do ministry media. Another statistics is that studies have shown that 94% of consumers avoid a business or organization due to negative online reviews. So as a ministry, if you have a ministry that engages somehow in person or that have built a community, you want to watch your reviews in terms of the stars and obviously also the feedback, and you want to respond to the feedback, you want to internalize it, and you want to actually go and do something with it, right? I think we'll go through this later on and teach this. But if you get negative reviews or feedback on your ministry, right? Positively respond. We're going to teach you a way to do that, but positively respond to it by acknowledging the review or the response and give people an action. Like, how am I going to take action on this? And actually, you should at least once a month take all the feedback that you're getting and go and shave and craft and work on your ministry so that you improve if it needs to be improved. Remember, Ken Blanchard says feedback is the breakfast of champions, right? And so what you want to do is you want to take the feedback that you're getting and you want to internalize it and actually use it as information. If you look at any of my teachings on community gives you the ability to fast track and increase R&D. It helps you to get the feedback so you can improve your ministry. An average of 64% of consumers form an opinion after reading just 1 to 6 reviews. So it's important that you watch those and you want to improve them. Here's some examples. A critical comment about a ministry's recent event on Facebook quickly garnered 200 likes, 50 shares, and 100 comments within a few hours, leading to a public discussion about the event's shortcomings. Another example is a negative review on a ministry's Google My Business page generated extensive engagement with 500 views and 50 clicks, and the review within 24 hours. A tweet criticizing a ministry's messaging strategy received 2,000 retweets and 3,000 likes in a matter of hours, causing a social media crisis that required an immediate response from them. These examples illustrate how negative feedback can escalate rapidly and potentially impact the ministry's reputation and outreach effectiveness on social media. Now, let's talk about the psychology of negative feedback. We've got to understand that behind every negative comment or feedback, right, there are emotions involved. It's anger, frustration, and misunderstandings. So if we have anger, have we said or done something to evoke that response from people? Have we bad-mouthed an organization or a person? Have we shed negative light on something that community is spoke? And sometimes we need to do that. I understand the ministry of exposing and discernment, but if you have that, what have I done to get that? Frustration, I mean, there could be a lot of things involved. Frustration is usually unmet expectations. People are expecting certain things from you and they're not receiving it. So that could be something that is causing that for you. And then misunderstanding. Sometimes negative comments is because of misunderstanding. And in ministry context, that could be you might not have clearly communicated what your ministry is all about. You might not have clearly communicated the message effectively, properly. And so negative feedback is often a reflection on the commenter's emotion rather than objective critique towards you. And so I always teach that, listen, take these and go and process them and internalize it and improve your messaging through that. And so I want to share with you a framework for handling negative feedback. Okay, this is a step-by-step framework for effectively managing negative feedback on your media channels. The first step is listen. It's very important that you monitor your social media channels regularly to identify negative feedback. Okay, the probability that you'll get it is high. You got to know when it erupts, because if you respond, the speed of your response is going to quench the fire and the virility of that specific interaction. If you leave it, it could escalate. But you being involved with the conversation in a positive manner, showing Christian character, being positive, making sure that you don't communicate with idle speech, as the Bible teaches, that's going to quench that specific thing. Okay. Next thing, evaluate. Assess the feedback to determine its validity and significance. So do people have grounds for what they are saying? And if not, then we need to respond and we need to do it. But we're always going to do it in a good, kind way. We want to be ambassadors of Christ here. How did Jesus respond to people? He always responded in love, and he responded with wisdom. And I believe that he was prayed up when he had immediate responses. And a lot of times he went to internalize events in his life. He often went out by himself or with a few trusted people. Number 3, respond. Encourage open dialogue and offer assistance when needed. So listen to the feedback and then respond. Simple things could be, thank you for your feedback. We acknowledge your frustration. We understand the anger, and we are going to internalize this and we're going to process this. And so our messaging is improved. Number 4, engage. Encourage open dialogue and offer assistance where needed. Then resolve. Work towards finding a solution or compromise if and when it's applicable. So we want to engage with people, and we want to see that we are actually bringing resolution to the issue that we are seeing. Number 6, learn. Gather insights from the feedback and make the necessary improvements. And then lastly, number 7, prevent. Implement strategies to minimize future negative feedback. In other words, if we made a mistake in communication that evoked negative feedback, what can we do so that we don't do it again? Okay. And so I'll give you some examples in a moment. Now let's talk about crafting those empathetic responses. It's important that we maintain a positive and empathetic tone in our responses. Remember that we need to love people. We need to show the love of Christ in our interactions and what we do. And I always have a three-part filter that I filter everything through. You got to ask yourself these 3 questions. Is what I'm about to say or write, is it necessary? Is it true? And is it kind? When I push it through those filters, I'm going to get the best results from my interactions. And so I want to share with you some examples of empathetic responses to common types of negative feedback. So in one instance, I ran ads for my, back in, I think in 2020, I ran ads for my book that was published and I released, and it was called The 4 Pillars. What are the 4 pillars to a successful ministry media platform? No, it was called COVID Proof Your Ministry. And upon posting this, I got 1 or 2 negative comments where people said, oh, this is from the devil, this is against the word of God, etc., etc. And what I did with each of those instances is I just said, thank you so much for your fee. Thank you so much for your for engaging with us. We really value that. And we appreciate your engagement. And so what that did, the Bible teaches, what you do is you put coals on the foreheads of the people, and it actually extinguishes that fire. And so you can't fail with love and empathy, because those will diffuse these tense situations that you might be experiencing. Now, how do I deal with trolls and harassment? If you don't know what trolls are, internet trolls are people that purposefully, maliciously, and intentionally go and post negative comments and feeds, shares things on their own platform, giving their view and opinions, and making things go viral for the wrong reasons. Now, when you experience these, again, love and empathy and understanding is the best way to deal with them. You don't want to fight with them. You don't want to create fights. We always teach against, there's some ministries, I won't name them, who actually, there was conflict between them, and they used the power of their media channels to now go and speak about and engage about the situation. And it becomes a big internet fight. And people get involved that shouldn't be involved. I don't believe this is how Jesus wants us to do it. And so what you want to do is you don't want to necessarily engage with them on a deeper level than acknowledging their contribution, thanking them for their response, and that's it. And they actually run out of steam. And so what you can do is you can use the block and report feature of people that are abusing you or trolling you on your platform. I've never done this before, because I think effectively loving people and giving your appreciation for their contribution to your platform, albeit negative, I think works effectively. And some people actually, they don't like that, and then they add another comment, and then you just leave it. Okay. And so just to quickly go to the takeaways of this lesson again, what did we discuss? We spoke about understanding the source of negative feedback. I shared some statistics with you. I shared with you the psychology of negative feedback. I shared with you a 7-step framework on dealing with negative feedback. And we spoke about crafting empathetic responses and then dealing with trolls and harassment. And so I wanna just reiterate and bring this home and say it's important that you stay positive, empathetic, and responsive when managing feedback. Don't just ignore the negative feedback, because you're gonna leave your doors open for people to just abuse that and kind of work with it in the wrong way. Okay. And then I want to encourage you to practice the framework that I taught you today. And I want you to share the experiences with your media team. And so if you have any questions, I want to encourage you to post them in the comments below. Even those that are watching the replay, post them. I will answer your comments for you, answer your questions, and also your comments for you. And so thank you for your participation today. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And I want to encourage you that you block out 12 o'clock on a Wednesday to engage with us and to learn every Wednesday, because this is what God called us to do. And we are here to value you and multiply value to you. And so thank you so much. If you like what you've heard today, you want to launch or improve your ministry media platform, learn the latest content creation techniques, build a media team, and increase the impact of your media ministry, register for our ministry media challenge. This carefully crafted challenge provides you with the system, processes, and most of all, accountability structures to get your ministry media platform launched in as little as 12 weeks. This is a premium challenge where we will take you from where you are to global influence and impact. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week.